genetically modified food first appeared at 1983, and now genetically modified food provides uncounted benefits to the entire human world. Even though it has lots of advantage, there are still some questions we want to figure out.
According to the research, 4/10 of the disease is related to the food, and they consider that people eat food every day, and one of them. I don't think this is wrong to know more information of the food that I ate every day.
At this stage, I had heard too much negative judgments and questions about genetically modified food. As for the government, I think they should first show up and solve this problem. California should require all genetically modified food products to be labeled.
First, I will share with you the bad result of the genetically modified food. Secondly, I will talk about food industry believe that genetically food is safe and the government still does nothing. Thirdly, I will talk about what we can do for the genetically modified food.
So first, what the bad results does the genetically modified food have? Genetically modified food causes harmful effect to people.
GM food is bad for human health. Charlie Domore, a UK reporter, posted an article which is in April 1st in 2012. European Union poll said the comm study of the method GM comm on the Reuters website mentioned that the researchers, the university found out the NK603 GM comm might kill the rats by the higher risk of the suffering humors. Multiple organ damage and premature death. It makes a big storm in Europe, and the European Union has started a professional team to investigate this research immediately. And they claimed the research was inadequate.
Also, it's still a question about whether human body can absorb the nutrient that was created by GM food. Effectively, the source of its gene may introduce into different size, different position, different amount, may bring lots of wilderness. That also means it creates possibility, and it also brought good and bad result at the same time.
Now we discussed the disadvantages of genetically modified food. Now let's move to the blame of genetically modified food. GM food has the internal and external blame.
The internal blame is the food industry, because they want to earn more money from the GM food. Dan Crossman, a reporter on the THV11 website at May 19, 2014, is in GM food, good and bad. Mentioned that GM food has already taken over 70% of the market share. It means the GM food moves too fast even before we realize the risk of the GM food. It also taught us that the reason why the GM food has this influence. It is because the food industry wants to earn higher benefit from it.
Nowadays, there is a lot of countries agree with the label GM food built except America. Houston Bill Kingston, who is legal fellow at the Center for Food Study, in her article at May 2013, 64 countries around the world label GM food. On Natural Market website note that 74 countries all around the world have already signed the label GM food built. Ironically, there was no United States. United States is also United States because there's no United States in this list. It's also unbelievable. United States also claimed this nation is the best nation in everything. However, United States moved really slow about labeling GM food.
I have already told you how I blame the food industry and government. Now let us move on to how to solve this problem. The American government can start to label genetically modified food in one state in order to expand more states in the future, and food industry must start to change the marketing plan as well.
First, Obama administration should release the sign about labeling the GM food to the whole United government. Secondly, if one state signed the GM food, it could become the model of the other states to imitate. For example, in April 24th in 2014, Terry Helbeck, a reporter in World Golf, said he will sign the GM food label bill on USA Today. Today News website said that Vermont would become the first state to sign GM food label bill.
The food industry must start to adjust the marketing plan about the GM food. If one state signs this bill, the tendency will be more and more states will sign this bill. As for the industry, they must first push off the organic food back to the market. In the future, in the different market, what we can see is two different groups: genetically modified food and organic food. We just let the customers have the chance to choose.
Now you know why we should label all genetically modified food, and let's conclude. California should require all genetically modified food products to be labeled. First, I shared with you bad results of the GM food. Secondly, I talked about food industry believes that GM was safe, and government still did nothing. Finally, I talked about what we could do for the GM food. Gene records all species DNA information. It involves billions of years. However, humans just touch this field 30 years, and what we earn for this process is gene food. It also means that we still have lots of questions about gene food. We should be more careful about no matter what.